So, honestly, building your dreams or pursuing things past your just job, it takes a lot of energy. So, one of the biggest hurdles I found on this journey in the beginning was just I had a lot of things that I wanted to do that I needed to do, but I didn't necessarily have the energy to do that. So, that was the first problem, or one of the first problems I had to address after obviously skill issues. It was my energy levels. So, how do I increase my energy levels to be able to do all the things I need to do? So, what I need to do is go to work and manage to still put in hours towards creating and then hours towards my studies, right? So, that's going to require a lot of energy. So, one of the first things that I had to address was my nutrition. So nutrition is very important. I feel like a lot of people skip over this, or it's not necessarily talked about in areas of like pursuit. You'll hear nutrition when it comes to weight loss or like, when you're on like 75 hard, like stuff like that. Like, that's when they'll push more new like nutrition. But when it comes to also pursuing your dreams or creating or starting a business, nutrition is also very important, right? Because the energy level of what you have is the energy level of what you will produce. And so it's important to address low energy levels if that's what you're suffering from. So, one, nutrition. I had to address my diet. Was I getting enough whole foods? Am I eating whole foods in general? I've always been very healthy in that sense. Like, I've enjoyed my veggies and my fruits, but just being more conscious and what's the word? Intentional. Being more conscious and intentional in my choices when it comes to food. So, including like just sure I get my dark greens and fruits to start my day, good water, things of that nature. I've been taking my vitamins and supplements, um, and that's really made a difference in the energy levels that I have to produce. Versus when I was just like kind of best to just get through the day, I would eat what was available, still whole foods in a general sense, but also sometimes I would snack or I'd have like a donut here and there. And yeah, that definitely an effect on just how I show up. So yeah, that was also herbs was a huge help. So I've always been into teas, especially like black teas. I love with the cream, or milk days. Um, but yeah, herbs have been a huge help the past like 5 years, and really into just learning like about the body and ways to like detox them and which herbs help it in functioning. And so my teas have been a huge help in increasing my energy levels, and honestly like functioning in general, like digestion and clarity, lung health, things of that nature. So yeah, herbs are if you combine herbs with your diet, it's like, help. What else? Honestly, getting really strong on my why. I realized like I had whys, but I never sat down and really correlated my why to a strong enough reason, if that makes sense. Even though I know the why is the reason, it's like you can why, but still not have a reason to do it, if that makes sense. So I had to correlate my why with my reason to get to a place of wanting to. I'm not used to doing long videos yet, so we'll get there. But yeah, I find those are some things that can really aid on just getting you to a place to having the energy and capacity to perform and to do more. I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. Definitely comment, or struggles you're going through. I definitely want to hear about them. Let's love this spot. It's like super comfy. Call this my therapy chair. It's just some place I come to like relax. Just the way it's set up and it's like in the like makes me feel like therapy vibes. I say like way too much. I realized that as I started like making these, I'm like, damn, damn, I'm saying so much. Anyways, that's not the message, but it is a message, something like that. I just came here to say like when your energy towards a job, when that's taking up so much of your time, especially like if you're someone who does overtime or you in the average 40-hour required work week, it's really draining and it gives you so many reasons to why not. Like so many reasons to why you shouldn't or why not. And I feel like you have to really tackle that. You have to really get over that hump of like I didn't A or I did more than this person or I did, especially working a manual labor job, like I know hard work. Trust me, I know. But just because it's hard work, it doesn't mean that you've done more, right? Someone working at this job that doesn't require manual labor and someone working at a job that does, if they're still working the job and there's no progression in that, it's not increasing anything, then they're working the same, if that makes sense. One is just harder on you, but it doesn't mean one is better than the other or one is more important than the other. What makes the difference between these two workers is what they do after they leave that. Because if that place is not a place of growth necessarily or in the direction you want to grow in, then you're not really doing much. And so, what is going to be the difference between those two? It's going to be the person who's putting energy towards what they actually want after they leave that place, after they leave that position, you know, and be what separates them. So it's not what you do when you have to do it. It's what you do when you don't have to do it that makes the difference between you and someone else, right? And not that being different than someone else should be the goal. That's not what it is. Being different than yourself should definitely be the goal. Being different than you were yesterday should definitely be the goal. And who you were yesterday or who you were a month ago is the person who was just doing what was required, right? And even when it comes to like that word, change your thoughts on requirement. It's time for me to go back to class. But yeah, hope you enjoyed.